Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Adeshola Ifeoluwa, also known as Mr. Regnance. In this video, I'll be talking about introduction to Pixellab environments, the use and function of tools on Pixellab application. Yes, you can use Pixellab application to design a flyer, you can use it to design a business card, you can use it to design a logo, and you can use it to design a whole lot of things. Please take a seat and journey with me as I take you and show you around Pixellab environment. Okay, what is Pixellab? Pixellab is a popular mobile application that allow users to create stunning graphics and add text to image. Basically, Pixellab was created to create stunning graphics, like for graphic designers who doesn't have a computer to make good graphics on their mobile phone, and for you to add text to images. Let's say you have an image, you want to put some text, some little graphical texts together with the picture. So that is the purpose of Pixellab. Okay guys, go ahead and open your Pixellab application, and this is what it looks like when you first open your Pixellab application. In this video, I'll be talking about three sections. I'll be talking about the worksheets, the function bar, and the toolbar. So I will be explaining more when I get to the toolbar section. So now, this is what we call the worksheet. This is a worksheet. This is your worksheet. Each and everything you will be doing on your Pixellab application, your design can only stay on the worksheet. It cannot go outside the worksheet. For example, this is a text here. Let's say I want to move it. I cannot move it outside the worksheet. It can only stay on the worksheet. You can see it can only stay on the worksheet. So this is your worksheet. You can format your worksheet to different sizes depending on what you want to decide. I will be talking and detailing that in this video as we go further. Okay, that takes us down to the next section of this video, which is the function bar. The function bar. So right here on top of the screen, we can see this. We can see the function bar right here on top of the screen. This blue section of the screen is what I title the function bar. So I will be explaining each and every of this function, or the function of the tools and items we have up here. So the first thing on the list here is, if we look at this particular pencil icon, this particular pencil icon. So when you click on the pencil icon, when you click to select it on it, it will display to you another 8 option. It has 8 options in it, which, let's start from the first pencil icon again. So this pencil icon, it allows you to edit the content of your text. Yes, you can see I have this new text selected here. So once I click on the pencil icon here, it allows me to edit the content. I can change it to whatever text I like in that particular text. So that is the function of the pencil icon. The next one beside it, that is the copy icon, that allows you to duplicate whatever object you select. It allows you to duplicate whatever object you select. So this is how to duplicate. So you can see I have two good here. I can keep on duplicating as many times as I like to duplicate. So that is what it does. So the third icon here, which is, we have two things together. This particular one, when you click on it, this allows you to increase the size of your font, the size of your text. It is only for text, so it allows you to increase and reduce the size of your text. That is what it does. You can increase and you can decrease. You can also increase by clicking on the plus sign. That allows you to increase 1 pixel at a time. You can see how it counts. It's counting from 79 to 80 to 91 to 81, and you can also decrease by 1 pixel each, 1% each, by clicking on the minus button. So once you are done subtracting, increasing, once you are done resizing, either increase or decrease, you can click on the mark icon here to approve what you have just increased. The next thing on this icon is the rotating button. We can see this icon that is two brackets is facing each other. So once you select it, it allows you to rotate. It allows you to rotate your selected text or selected object wherever you see that icon. So you can rotate it in any angle. We can see it is written in degree, angle 61 degree. We have the positive and we have the negative. So you can rotate as you please. Then you can also use the plus and the minus button to rotate the selected object. The next thing on the list is the relative position icon. We have these four arrows all pointing together to the center of each other. So when you click on this particular icon, this icon allows you to relatively position the selected object. It works for text and it works for other objects like shape, images, and other things you might import in your documents. Now, let me show you example of what it does. This is me telling it to align to the left side of the worksheet. This is me telling it to align to the right side of the worksheet. This is me telling it to align up to the top of the worksheet. This is me telling it to align down, bottom of the worksheet. This is me allowing it to align at the center horizontally. This is me telling it to align center vertically. Then once you are done, whenever you use this tool, you click on the mark button for it to save the changes you made. If you click on the cancel button, it will definitely go back to the way it was before you start moving it about. So that is the function of that. So the next one we have here is the color icon. This one that looks like a bucket that water is dropping from is the color icon. The color icon. This icon allows you to give color to the selected objects, either a text or it is a shape. It allows you to give colors to it. You can decide to change the color to whichever color you like. So I'll be talking more when we get to the last section of the video. It allows you to select color. You can select the color in gradient. You can select the color in full color, in a solid color. Okay, now that takes us to this icon. This icon, this first one on the left, the last two icon, the one on the left. So their function is very simple. So one takes it, allows you to move an object to the front, and the other one allows you to move an object to the back. For example, let's say you have a particular shape like this. As you can also see, this shape now is in front of the text I have there. So I want to move the shape back to the back of all of this text. I am putting the shape at the back, so I'm going to be using this icon to take it either to the back or to the front. After selecting the object you like to move to the front or to the back, then you can move it to the back by selecting the back button. You can see it has just moved to the back of good, and then I can bring it back to the front by selecting the other icon, which brings it back in front of good. We can all see that very well. The good is having, let me give it another color for us to understand better. Okay, now this is the color on red. Now I am moving it again. The one on the right hand, I move it to the front, while the one on the left hand side move it to the back. Same thing happens if I select any of the good text I have at the back there. I can move it to the front, and I can move it to the back. That is a function of that. So if you look closely, the next icon we have behind the pencil icon is the basket icon, which is the delete icon. So this one allows you to automatically delete any selected objects. It allows you to delete, then it asks for your confirmation. Do you want to delete the selected object? You can click on OK. I have just deleted that object. I have just deleted this text, and I have just deleted this text too. So I have just deleted all the texts I have there. Okay, the next thing on our screen is the plus icon. If you look very well, the plus icon over here, when you click on the plus icon, it has other 7 options, which is text, current state, sticker, shape, from gallery and draw. So when you click on the text, this allows you to input a new text entirely. Let's say you want to format different text separately. So this new text, I can format it to be Maureen. So I want to format good Maureen separately. So I can have my Maureen. I can have my Maureen here while I already have the good on the screen. As you can see, good Maureen. That is a function of text. You can continue adding text. Let's say you want to add another text again. Good Sunny Maureen. Good Sunny Maureen. So that is Sunny. So I can format each and every of these texts separately. I can format them separately. That is the function of the text button. Let's go ahead and delete. Don't forget the function of the delete button. It allows you to automatically delete instantly. Delete an object. Delete an object. So the second one is current date. This allows you to input the current dates you are working on that document in your document. Let's say you have a need for the date, you don't want to type it out yourself, you can just click on current dates for you to input the current date. So the next one is stickers. This allows you to import default stickers by Pixellab to your documents. Let's say you want to use this call out sticker, then you want to put your moral inside, you can decide and format it together with your document. So there are various stickers in the default section of Pixellab you can import in your documents. You can import your document. So the next thing there is shape. This allows you to import shape in your document. Yes, there are just few shapes here, but you can decide to work around shape by trimming and manipulation. We will get there later in the video. So these are some shapes. You can decide to change the shape from circle to square. Let's say you want a rectangle, not a square. You can decide to expand this to what size you want. Then I want you to take note of these two particular buttons. We have two buttons here. We have this one that says mark. We have this one that says cancel. So whenever you click on the mark button, it means the changes I just made should be accepted, should be I'm giving it the command that it should save, it should accept the changes I just made to this particular shape, not the entire document, this particular shape. But when I cancel, it means I don't want to put this shape again. For example, when I click on cancel, it asks me, are you sure you want to cancel the correct operation? When I click on OK, you see the shape is gone. Now let's go back there, shape. So now once it shows me this shape, for me to import this shape, I have to click on the mark button. You can see it's having the shape. So that's the function of the mark and the cancel button whenever you have an item selected. Whenever you have an item selected. So this is a shape again. So now I want to introduce you to another button again. We have a negative sign button and we have a positive sign button. So on most objects, text and other things, there will always be a section whereby you will come across a positive and a negative sign. In most cases, it is used to resize it. It is used to work on the size of a particular thing about that one. So for the purpose of this one is talking about the radius. I can increase and decrease the radius of this square by clicking on plus button. I can also drag the button here. You can see it's decreasing and increasing the radius of the shape, decreasing and increasing the radius of the shape. I'll come back to that later in the video. So another thing we have here is from gallery. So this allows you to import documents from your gallery to your documents. You can import an object rather from your gallery to your documents. So let's say I want to import a particular object from my gallery. I want to import a particular object. So this is what I want to import to my documents. You can see. So let's say I want to work around this. I want to do some things on this. I want to work with this particular flyer on my document. I have just import a picture from my phone to my document. That is the function of that. And the last thing we have here is the draw button. So this allows you to draw. It's just like when you have a crayon, or let's say when you have a pencil, a light pencil with you want to draw something. If you are good at drawing, then you can decide and draw. I want to draw love. So let's say if I'm fine with this drawing, remember I told you about this mark and cancel button. You can click on mark. So I just draw a love button with my hand. I can decide to draw if I am a good artist with drawing with my hand. If I am a good artist with drawing with my hand, it allows you to draw depending on what you like to draw. Depending on what you like to draw. That is the function of the drawing option here. So now the next thing we have on the list is this icon that looks like a memory card. This icon that looks like a memory card, or should I say it looks like a SIM card. So that icons, it allows you to save your projects. It allows you to save changes to your project. It allows you to save your project as an image, like as a picture. You want to save your project, this particular document, you want to save it, as a picture so that you can start sending it to the owner, or you can share it about on your social media. That button allows you to save. Now we have a button at the under that particular one, this arrow facing the left side. So this button means undo. It means undo. It allows you to undo the last action, the last thing you do. It allows you to undo it. So once you use the undo button, remember, do not use the undo button unnecessarily, because you cannot redo what you undo on Pixellab. There is a manual way you can redo, but it is not always reliable. You might not even get to where you want to go to on the document. I will come back to that later. So now let's undo the last action I took. I deleted this. I have just undo. I have just undo it. I deleted this. I have just undo it. Now I cannot go back to bringing that love in again because I have already undo it. I undo it, and then I cannot redo it for it to come back. Unlike some computer software application, I cannot redo it for it to come back. That is the function of the arrow facing the left. So let's go ahead. We have this search icon with the plus sign. This one allows you to zoom your documents in, and it allows you to zoom out depending on what you are working on. So on top of it, we have this button. This allows you to directly share, save your document as a picture to your phone. It allows you to save your project as a picture to your phone. You can decide and save it as JPEG. You can save it as a PNG file, and you can also change the quality. You can change the quality of your project, of the document you're having. You can change the quality you want to save it to your phone. You can change the quality you want to save it to your phone. So the next one we have at the top here, we have this icon. This icon allows you to import codes, to use default codes from Pixellab, to use them in your project. Let's say I want to use this particular number 3. If you think you can do it, you can. It's what I want to work around. So that is it. It imports the codes into my project. Now this particular one, this next icon here, this mesh icon, this is a grid line. This one allows you to align. It allows you to perfectly, you remember we talk about alignment, it allows you to perfectly align your design so that it will not be clumsy, and then it will not be disorganized. So if you are arranging 10 things, you want to align them to be on a straight line on the left hand side, you can use the grid line to align them. You understand? You can use the grid line to align them to stay on a straight line, either vertically or horizontally. And then you have the option of moving your grid line anywhere you want it to start from, anywhere you want it to end to. You can move it as it places by activating this mesh settings button. You can see, so you can even increase the number of grid line you have there by clicking on the plus button. You can see just added another grid line for me. This another one to add another grid line. So depending on where I want to put it, I can keep adding as much as I need, as much as I want. This allows you to delete. Let's say I have too much of grid line there, I will select whichever one I want to delete and click on it. Then it deletes it. It deletes it immediately. It allows me to delete a grid line I don't want to use, and this one here allows me to position the grid line in a perfect percentage, like a perfect position on the screen. Let's say I want the first grade line on position number 2% of my worksheets. Number 2, I can just set it to number 2. Number 2, I'll click on OK. So you can see it has just moved up. I will leave it there. Let's say I want this one to be at 98. So I'm only leaving, let's say what I'm trying to design, I'm trying to leave like, okay, let me leave 2% of the document as the outskirts, just in case of anything. So I can now move this one to 98 by increasing the position to 98. Click on OK. You can see where it's just moved to now. That is that. So another button we have here is this button here. So now the function of this button, let me put off the grid line. The function of this button is it allows you to see the layers of objects in your documents, in your project. It allows you to see the layers. Now I have two texts on my screen. I have, if you think you can do it, you can. And I have more on my screen, as you can see. Now it is obvious that from the layer section here, the if you think you can do it, you can is on top of the good morning. So whatever I am doing, wherever I am placing them, the morning is in front of the if you think you can do it, the morning is in front of it. So I can decide to move if you think you can do it to the front of the morning. For example, let me quickly format them with different colors so you can understand what I mean. You can see, yes, the if you can do it is in front of the morning. So the best way for me to easily move it from the morning to, I want to move morning to front of if you think, then is by going to this section here. Then you will click and hold, tap and hold whichever one you want to move. Then you can move it downward and you can move it forward. So if I have, let's say, let me duplicate this mooring. Yes, I have two moorings now. Two mooring. Now I want the if you can to be in between the first mooring and second mooring. It means I will tap and hold it and move it to the middle of them. So now it is in the middle. You can obviously see that there is one mooring at the back and there is another mooring in front. Yes, you'll be needing this in some cases when you are doing designing. Now the last option here at the function bar, like I title it, is this three dots option or icon here. When you click on the three dots icon, it has these options. I will explain one after the other. Now it's this use image from gallery means that you want to import image from your gallery the way we did earlier. Like you want to import something, an object from your gallery, something you have on your phone, a picture, an icon, a shape. You want to import it from your gallery, you can easily import it down to your documents as a background. That is the function of this use image from gallery. It is automatically importing that image as a background. So the second option we have here is full screen. This allows you to view a document. Let's say this is a document, I have completed the design, then I want to view it like a normal viewing before I decide to save it to my phone. I can click on full screen. You can see it allows me to view it just what I have designed alone. Then I can click on the arrow in back to zoom out, so it says use image from camera. The same thing. Let's say you want to you haven't saved the picture you want to use on your phone, you just want to take the picture. So then you can use image from camera. It will activate your camera, then you can snap picture. Then the next option is export image. See, this export image is same as what I have shown us, a way we can save our projects, our documents as a picture. So when you click on it, it takes you there again for you to set the quality and the format you want to save. Your project. Then the next thing we have is contact us, reports box, which is, let's say you want to like message the Pixellab company. You always know where we find about and something, and here you can find some brief tutorials about Pixellab. Here, let's say you are getting some advertisements on your Pixellab. If you are using the downloaded version from Google Play Store, you'll be getting different advertisement displaying here and there. Then you can decide to pay for their advanced and their pro version of the application to remove it. Then here, this is what I am talking about in the section where where I said you cannot redo what you have undo, but this recover autosave, this button allows you, it saves you some time, like you mistakenly undo something, or you have been working on a project, then you forget to save it. Now this, the application itself, Pixellab application itself, has the ability to automatically save projects you are working on at, I don't know, it is a default giving time. You understand? You cannot set when it automatically save. You can see it saved this particular project different time. Let's start from the bottom side. It first save it 153, it save it 154 again, it save it 155, 156, 57, it save it twice in 157, 158, then 159, 201, 202. Sometimes it will not save for like 5 minutes, you understand? So I don't know what the sequence of the saving is. So let's say I want to go back to something, I remember that, oh, the time where I want to go back to, or what I was working on when I made the mistake, was around 157. Yes, if I am aware of the time, that is the only time I can now go back to 157. So it will take me back to what I was doing around exactly 157. That is the only way I can undo and redo what I have undo. Like I explained, that is the only way I can undo and redo what I have undo, a mistake I have made. So that takes us to the ending of this function bar section. Before I proceed, I want you to like this video and I want you to subscribe to my channel. Please and please kindly like the video and subscribe to my channel. Also, I want you to check the description section of this video. I'll be dropping a personal message for you, and then in the description section you will find a link to a soft copy, a PDF file explaining this Pixellab environment. It is very, very essential that you have it separately. You have it aside this video on your phone. Thank you. Let's continue now to the toolbar of the Pixellab application. This is what I title the toolbar of the Pixellab application. So this toolbar now, it is where you do lots of the magic. It is where you do lots of the abracadabra, where you do the commanding and the everything here. So let's go to the first icon on the screen, this particular one that is already highlighted. So this particular icon allows you to open older projects, to open a project from your phone. That is what it does. It allows you to open a recent project. It allows you to open a project that is saved somewhere on your phone, not in your Pixellab application. Let's say you download the project from Chrome, you download something of Pixellab format from anywhere, then you can open it from this place. You can open it by clicking on this .plp icon up here. That is a way to open that. Now let's quickly talk about these default backgrounds. Now these different default backgrounds, they are just different formatted styles that came with the Pixellab application. We have the thing, we have the thing, we have the keep calm, we have 3D, we have 3D text, different ones of them. So you can format, you can decide to use any one of these things for your work, but in most cases when you want to design something, you don't really need it. Yes, as a beginner you have to practice with some of it, but in most cases you don't really need them. Now let's go back to the let's go to the text tool, which is the second option on the list, the text tool. Now if once you click on the text tool, it show you about 18 to 20 something option here. There are about 18 to 20 something option here. Now the first thing is style. So this style, now when you click on style, it brings out two options, the browse and the saved. So when you click on the browse, the default ones, these are the default styles from Pixellab. Now you can see, you can decide to format the text you have to a default template of Word. So you can decide to format it to a default template. You can decide to format it to a default template. You can work around with it as you place new text. You can see you can decide to edit here. Like I said, this is where you format the contents of your texts. We have been formatting since. I think you should be good and familiar with formatting the content of a text. Now, good morning, you can say good morning. Then the next option here we have is delete. It allows you to delete automatically. Then I can undo delete. You understand? I can delete. I can also delete from the top of the screen like I showed you earlier. I can delete from here. Now this option here allows you to copy, duplicate. Don't forget, copy means duplicate. It means you want to make that object, you want to double it. You understand? I can copy, move down. I can copy 3 times, move up. That is a function of this. Now remember I told you these two options here, we have to the front, we have to the back. This one allows you to move to the front, it allows you to move to the back of the document. Front and back, front and back, front and back. Don't forget that. Now going back, going to this position icon, this allows you to position, to move the selected objects in a pixel position. Like you can move it you can move it in measurements of a pixel. So for example, so once you open, when you select the position option, its default is 6 pixel. Then we have this difference arrow, we have the plus, we have the plus sign, we have the plus sign. So I can decide to move it 6 pixel downward by using, okay, let's start from the right. I can decide to move it 6 pixel to the left by clicking on the left arrow button. The left arrow button, you can see it's moving 6 pixel. I can move it to the right, 6 pixel to the right. I can move it to the top, 6 pixel. I can move it to the down. Now I can decide to adjust the number of pixel I am moving. Let's say I want to take this thing to the down of the screen. So if I'm moving in 6 pixel, I might have to press like 20 times, but I can decide to increase the pixel at least at which it moves. So once it's on 20, you can see that it will be way faster than when it was on 6. And then I can decide to move it to 1 pixel. So this is way slower moving to the top. So you use this when you want to kind of align, you want to arrange something to be very slightly close to each other, you want them to sit on the same line. That is when you use it. Remember, you can use the plus and the minus button, negative and positive button, to decrease and increase the pixel at which the object is moving, and the mark and the cancel button for me to approve the operation I just made, and for me to cancel the operation, approve the operation. So this is the relative position button here. We have worked on this earlier. It allows me to move it relatively to the center, vertically, center horizontally. It allows me to move to the relative right hand side, relative left hand side, relative top of the screen, relative bottom of the screen. So if you watch my other design where I am designing, you will understand how to use this button very well. So this is the text size. This allows you to increase and decrease your text size. Remember, we have talked more about this over in the video. It allows you to increase and decrease the size of your texts. It allows you to increase and decrease the size of your text. I told you, you can always use the negative button to decrease and the positive button to increase. Now we have what we call padding here. This padding here is just as simple as the space you want your this is a text box, you understand. So if you look at this text box, this white highlighted area is the padding area. So the text itself is having some padded area here. So I can decide to remove the padding area by reducing the left padding. You can see it has been subtracted by 20. I can decide to remove the one on the right too. Now I can decide to increase the padded area. So this is a big text, that is why it is not. Let's go and try it on a small text that can contain the screen. Now look at it. I have just removed the left padding, I have just removed the right padding. You can see what the text is looking like. Yeah, depending on what you want to achieve with your design. So that is why we have this many function. I can decide to give it a large padding. So I gave the left padding 55, and I want to increase the right padding too. You can say, let me put it on same 55. So that is the work of the padding. So the padding now is just giving the text box, the text area, an extra space, that is what it is giving the text on its own. So let's say I'm formatting this text directly with a automatic background, that padded area will be having that color. I will get to that shortly. So I can decide to change the color of this text. I can decide to change it. Okay, don't mind me, let me remove, let me just delete all of this text. I'm using a default style text, so I just import a new text. I want to format it to what I like to be there. Let's use good good. So we are talking about color, so I can decide to switch it to any color I want here. So these are the default color there, and then let's say you want to use a particular color and it is not here in the default. You can always set your color by clicking on this plus sign here, plus sign. So you have two options. You can either use the eyedropper button to pick a color from the document. So let's say I've been working on this document, I want to use it a color from the picture I have imported. I can use this because every object I have imported in this document will be aligning and showing here on the screen. So I can decide to select it, then I can decide to use the eyedropper, take it to anywhere of the object for me to pick the color I want to use. You can see this is the color, the new color I am having here. Once I click on OK, the color, the text color will change to this particular one. And now this three option here, it allows you to tone, to shade, and to what is it called, to give opacity to your color. So I can tone, I can shade, and I can give it opacity. You can say I want you to notice this upside. The more I tone, I shade, give it opacity, it changes from there. So I can give it opacity, I can tone it, I can shade the color. I can be working on a red color, I can tone it, I can shade it, I can give it opacity. That is the work. So let's say, look at it now, I'm giving it a very low opacity, and this is what it looks like. Let me decide to give it a high opacity. You can see it is in full red color. So let's talk about gradients. Gradient, you can give your text, your objects, whatever it is you have, you can give it a gradient color. Gradient, using gradient color is like when you are using a fontaine color, it means like you are using like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like numbers of color in a particular object. Numbers of color. You can see this particular good now is having a black color and a gray color. That is what I have there. A black and a gray color, that is what I have there. I can decide to choose anyone from the defaults, color, and likewise I can go to this place and format it the way I want. Decide to change the color I have there. I can decide to change the color I have on my gradients, even if it is not listed on the default gradients, available gradients color here. You can see. So this last option here, you can see selection. It means I can decide to format each and every of these letters with different color. So let's give that a try. Yeah, it only works on solid color, mind you. It only works on solid color. I just give G a red color. No, I'm giving it white. Let me change to the second hole. I want to give it a blue color, and the last D, I want to give it a green color, a deeper green color. So you can see the way I just formatted the code. So depending on what, it depends on what exactly you are doing. So the next thing we have here is texture. This texture now, it allows you to use a background, an image as a color of your objects. So this good now, I want to use a particular image. I want to put it as the color of the good. Then I will just go to texture, I will select, it asks me to select the documents from my phone, then I can click on it. Now this design will be what will be the color of the good. For example, you can see the design is inside of the good. You can see what it actually looks like depending on what you are designing. Depending on what you are designing. And this is the opacity button. It allows you to give opacity to your to the selected object, you can increase and decrease the opacity. You can increase and decrease the opacity. Now affect shadow. This one now is when your the object has a shadow. Now you want the opacity to affect the shadows too. You want the shadow to have lower opacity of have higher opacity. As you increase and decrease, you can enable it and you can disable it as well. So this is the rotating button. We have talked a little bit about this. It allows you to rotate the selected objects in a 360 angle. You can decide to rotate it. So you need to learn some things about angle, you know, like a right angle, the correct and actual angle to make something horizontal, the correct angle to make it vertical. You can use it to rotate. Also, I want to show you that, look at this very button here. This one that is showing like a smile, like a C, a curve. You can use it to rotate too automatically. You just have to hold and drag it the direction you want the object to rotate. You can use it to rotate as well. So this is the maxing option here. So this option allows you to max. You can max and you can max out. You can see what immediately I click on max, look at what it just did to my text. It's allowing it, like it's cleaning some parts of it. So I will make a special video on maxing, because max is a very useful tool, and then it is used in being creative when it comes to, let's say you want to design, you want to make a shape, you want to make a particular logo. That is when you would need maxing and max out. So depending on what you are doing, I will make a video differently on this max. Now this is fonts. When it's come, remember we are talking about text, this is fonts. So these are the default fonts on Pixellab application. You can decide to change the fonts. We call it fonts. Yeah, if you remember from the class, we call it fonts on Pixellab application. I mean, we call it fonts on in graphics. That is the typeface your text is having. You can decide to change the typeface. We have different typeface. If you look at the typeface here very well, you can see that it changes from what it was earlier. It changes to this. Let me change it again. This is another typeface. Let me decide to put a tiny typeface. You can see this is a tiny typeface. Yes, so go and read more about fonts so that you can understand how to use fonts. That is it about fonts. So fonts, these are the fonts I downloaded myself. I'll be making a video on how you can download a font and import it to your Pixellab application so that you can be able to use it. Yes, Pixellab automatically have limited fonts, like limited fonts. The fonts are not much enough. So I will do a video about fonts and how you can install them. You can have different fonts of your choice in different way. You can see me using my own downloaded fonts of any design, depending on what you are designing. So the next thing we have here is style. So this style is very simple. It allows you to bold, to make the text bold, to make it Italian, and to have it underlined. That is the work of this section. And this last T here allows you to cancel everything you have just done. It allows you to cancel everything you have just done. Now this is curve. Now this allows you to like curve, to make your text curve. You can decide to curve it. Okay, let me put a longer word for us to understand. First of all, let me change the font to a reasonable font. Now let me put a longer word. Good morning, people. Good morning, people. So I want to put a longer word. Let me resize. Good morning, people. Now let me format it all to be capital letter. Now let me change the color by removing the texture. I'm deleting the texture and I'm formatting the color to be red. So what I am talking about here is curve, curve, curve. So this allowed me to curve this good morning, people. Let's say I want to put it around the circle, or I want to use it in a way I need it. So I can both curve it in upward, curve it outward. You understand? Even if I don't want to curve it also, depending on the bending percentage I want it to be curved. So now we have text background. Yes, I was saying something about padding earlier. So this padding now, You can see it's giving that text an automatic background. If I want to put a background for the text myself, I can try to use a shape, but the padding now allows it to give, it gives it this automatic color background. It gives it this automatic background. You understand? You can decide to increase the padding, you can decide to decrease the padding depending on how you want to format it. Now let's go to alignments. Let's put this back on 0. Alignments. Let me show you what alignment does. Alignments, I believe we have talked about alignments from the theory parts of the class. So this is what alignment does. You can see now the text is automatically aligned to the right. It is automatically aligned to the right. I can decide to align it to the center. So alignment is just the way the text is arranged. Good morning. I can decide to align it to the right. Okay, so it's automatically aligned to the left, mind me, and I just align it back to the right. Then I can justify. So justify means when you click to justify, you decide to justify a text. It means the end of each of those texts will not be far from each other, especially when they are not, when a text is not far. For example, let me make a good example of that. Delete. I'll be importing a quote. Let me say a quite longer quote. Good. So this is a quite longer quote, and I think it is center aligned. If you look at it very well. Now I can decide to justify it. You can see what justification did. It's move each and every of these words to a straight line, the ones that are closer. You understand? If I decide to unjustify it, you can see the way it is looking. So depending on what you are designing, like some Bible texts, they use justification in aligning Bible texts. Some novels, some storybooks like that are aligned. So depending on what you are designing, depending on what you are designing, depending on what you are designing, now we have spacing. We have the vertical and the horizontal spacing. So this allows you to space each of the letters. You can decide to space good morning, good, good. You can decide to space to increase the space. You can decide to decrease the space, and you can decide to increase the space in word, and you can decide to increase it in letter. I mean, yes, in letter and in words. You can decide to increase and decrease depending on what you want to do. And this one is line spacing. So this line spacing allow you to space the lines between each word. Each time you click on enter, it takes the word to another line. You understand? The next line. So it allows you to space. You can see the lining. That's what we call the lining space. The lining space. So here we have what we call stroke. Stroke is also known as outline. Stroke is also known as outline. You can decide to give your text a stroke. So you can decide to increase the stroke width here. That is how bold the stroke is. You can see. Good morning, people. That is, I increase the width of the stroke to 38. I can decide to decrease it. Then I can decide to put the stroke off if I don't want a stroke at all. Now this is shadow. I can decide to give my text a shadow. Let me give it a reasonable shadow. I think color yellow will be good with it. You can see good morning, people. I can decide to increase and decrease the opacity of the shadow I am giving to it. The shadow, I can increase and decrease the radius. The radius is how far the shadow goes from it, like the distance of the shadow from the text to, like how far it go from the text to outside. The extension of the shadow, you can see what that is doing. Now we have the inner shadow. I can decide to put a shadow inward of the selected object. It can be a text, it can be a shape. I can decide to put an inner shadow. Then I can also decrease and increase the radius of the shadow. I can decrease and increase the radius of the shadow. Now we have the emboss button. This one makes your text a 3D. I'll be making extra videos on how to do all of these things, how to make, because they are very vital, and then they are kind of important parts of Pixellab that cannot be explained in a single video. They cannot be explained. This is perspective. This allow me to like give my the object or it takes another perspective different from the way it is standing. You understand? Let's say I want to kind of like place it on a wall, then I already import a wall here. I want it to look like it is standing on that wall, then I'll just use my perspective. Okay, let's say I want to place it on the floor. Let's even do that. I think that is simple to achieve. Yeah, I want it to look like it is sleeping on the floor, somebody is standing on it. You can say just have good morning people by enabling the perspective and dragging my perspective button to the direction position I want it to be. Direction and position. By clicking on this, now you can see good morning people is lying on the floor. Let's say I have a picture of someone that is walking. I can make that person walk on this good morning people. Now the work of perspective, they can always put it off back and the text has come back to the former way it was. This is 3D rotating like you want to rotate, you want it to be. It's also work in form of perspective, but not so much like perspective. You can easily see the work of 3D rotation. So depending on how you want to rotate it, I want the good morning to stand like this, so I can easily put like that depending on what I'm working on. And the last, okay, we have the 3D texts. So this allows you to give a 3D perspective to your texts. A 3D, you can increase the depth, decrease the depth. You understand? You can decrease it. You can decide to change the color of the 3D the 3D at the back of it. You can work on that. There are more videos about it that explain these sections better. Now we have 3D shadow. So this 3D shadow, it just allows you to make it like that text is actually standing there, and then it's having a shadow of its own on the floor. You understand? Depending on what you are designing. So we have the reflection. I think we all know what a reflection is. That is the reflection. You can see this good morning people is reflecting on the floor like it is standing on the glass or is standing on the water. So depending on what you are designing, that is the reflection button. That takes us to the end of the text tool. Now let's go to the next option here. So this next option here has varieties of options. So we have stickers, imports, draw, shape, brazier, arrow, so on and so forth. Yeah, we have talked about most of these options already. So now let's go back to sticker. Sticker takes you back to where you see default stickers on your Pixellab. Let's say you want to use a particular sticker on your project. You can decide to use it. You can go to sticker and select it. Now this is import, the same button that allows you to import a file from your phone to your documents to your project. So when I click on it, it imports it to my documents. I can use it anywhere I want to use it. Let's say it is an icon. Let's say it is a PNG picture of a person I want to input in my file. It is a picture of a house I want to put I'm designing with. That is how to import them. Now it's giving me option of reselecting. Let's say I want to change it. I'm not using this one. I want to delete. I can crop it, I can copy it, I can move it to the front, I can move it to the back, I can position it, I can relatively position it, I can resize it, I can give it color, texture, I can give it opacity, I can give it color filter. Let's talk about this color filter because we don't have the option from the text, but which all of those ones I have just skipped. They are the same thing, they work the same way they worked when I talked about them from the text tool earlier. Now I can decide to give this object a hue color. You can see I'm working on the hue color now. I can decide to give it saturation. I can decide to give it brightness. I can increase and decrease each and every one. I can decide to give it contrast. Yes, you can download an object in a different way and decide to manipulate, to work around it, to look else, to look in a different way. You understand? So let's say I want to use this like that. Depending on what I am designing, I have just manipulated a little bit the color filters. Now we have the stroke. I think I have talked about the stroke. The stroke is just, it means the outline. I'm giving this object a stroke. You can see that is just what the stroke is. We have the eraser. Now this eraser allows you to erase a part of the imported objects. Okay, let's say I only want to use this, my picture here is what I want to use. Then I can erase it by, I can increase the size of my eraser here. Then I can decide cleaning the part I don't want to use from this imported picture. I can decide to start erasing it. You can see I just erase all of that. Let's see, what I am only using is this picture. Yes, I can be careful and make sure to trace it. You can see it's showing how close my eraser is to the image. I can decide to erase it all. Then you can see what I have left here. I have just erased every part of the file I imported. That is the work of the eraser. So now we have the maxing option here. I told you there are videos that talks about maxing, where we can learn about this maxing and brazier tool. So now we have the erase color option. This erase color option allow you to erase a particular color. So the default color it erase automatically is white. So when you select it, all the white color in this particular file are imported, deleted. You can see what is left here is just the rest that are not in white color, but everything that is white automatically, let's say I don't want to delete the white. So this is what you will do. You will come to this option here. You will click on the eyedropper icon. When you click on the eyedropper icon, then it allows you to select the color you want to delete from the particular object. So this time around I'm deleting this color. Once I click on it, you can see the white is back and every color that has that color I selected is deleted. So I can decide to delete 2 3 colors by clicking on the plus sign button. It means after I have deleted the first blue, I want to delete another color again. So this time around, you see it has automatically deleted the white, but I'll pick up my eyedropper. I'll select the color I want to delete and I'll click on the mark option. Now the white is back and it has deleted the purple color on the skin. It has deleted the purple color on the skin. Then I can click on the mark icon for it to save what I so this options in some cases we use it to remove background from a picture. If you have a stock picture, most stock picture are on a solid background, yellow, blue, green. So once you select the eyedropper, you click on the background color, then it automatically erases the background once and for all. Then the rotating button, don't forget, is used to rotate the selected object in any direction you want. Now we have 3D rotating, the same thing with what the 3D rotating from the text is doing. We have the perspective, we have shadow, we have inner shadow, we have emboss. The same way it's worked on the text is the same way it work with any other object, either a shape or a picture file or an icon you imported from your phone. Now let's go to the next option, which is your documents formatting. Now I want you to pay close attention to this section of the environment. When you start a new project, when you open a new project on Pixellab application, the first place you will likely be coming to or be going to is this section. That is where you set the size, the background of your project. This particular document, I want to design a church flyer. So this is where I will be setting the size, the background of that project. So we have options. You can decide to use a solid color or a gradient color for the project. So this is where you're setting the color. Let's say you are using an automatically solid color, so you can go there. I've talked a little bit about color. You can decide to change the color to your choice, select a color or input a color code. You can decide to do that. About color, that is it. Or you can make it transparent. You don't want it to have any background. Now let's say I want to work on this good morning. I want to export it as a file that doesn't have a background, like a watermark. I want to make a watermark for a friend, so my friend will be using this good morning as a watermark. I will leave the background as transparent and I will save it as a png. then automatically anywhere this picture is going to, it will not be having a background. Now this is where you size it. This is where you size. We have a custom size. The default size of Pixellab is one is once 1280 by 1280 pixel. You understand, 1:1 ratio. So this is automatically around the size of an Instagram post. You understand? Instagram post is 1080. This is automatically around the size, a 1:1 aspect ratio. So you can decide to change to check around some presets here. So we have square, we have profile picture square, we have YouTube channel banner. You can see we have few of them, we have them here, and then you can decide to set a particular size for yourself. Now this is it. When you want to work on something like this, if you don't know a actual size, you go to Google and you search for size in pixel. So let's say you want to work on a letterhead paper. You would just go to Google, you search, you ask Google, what is the size of A4 paper? Because what's letterhead we stay on is an A4 paper. What is the size of A4 paper in pixel? Google will give you the size. Then you come here, you enter the exact weight Google is giving you, you enter the exact height Google is giving you. I have an easier way I do that, but as a beginner, that is the best way you can achieve it. So in my further videos, I'll be talking about how you can size your documents without stress. You can get a good quality and a good size for your projects. So the next thing we have here is image, which is you can use image. These are default image. Using default image as background of my documents. You can see there are different ones. Let's say this good morning people. Yeah, this is kind of perfect for this good morning people. Let me go ahead and remove the reflection I have on it. Yeah, I just removed the reflection. I can format this. Yeah, I want you to walk around and play around your Pixellab application like I am doing. I want you to walk around and play around with it. So I just give it a text shadow. A text shadow. Let me give it a stroke. Oh, the stroke is too much. Good morning people. Let me change the alignments back to right. So I can decide to have this as a design. Yeah, it is not anything interesting, it is not anything, but this is actually graphics. I have just formatted a picture and a text together. So let's go back to where we are. That is me using an image as a background of my document. Then I can select a background from my gallery. I can decide to use a particular background from my gallery. Let's say I want to use this as the background again. So we have talked about something like this earlier. From gallery. So it is there as the background of my document, and then I can also select from camera. So this takes us to the last section of this video. So here at the last section of this video, this particular options, it allows you to rotate the entire document. You can see it's rotating the background of the document. This allows you to give it vintage. I don't know if you know what they call vintage, but in most cases this section are mostly not useful. It is only useful, let's say you are editing a picture, not a graphics. You are editing just a picture. That is when you mostly use this. You can decide to give it a noisy effect. You can decide to give it a stripe effect. You can decide to increase and decrease the brightness. You can set the contrasts. You can set the hue of the background. Then you can increase and decrease the saturation of the background. Okay, that brings us to an end of this video, Pixellab environment. I believe you have learned something, and then please don't just watch this video. While you are watching this video, or if you have just finished watching video, go back to your phone, open your Pixellab application, and then try each and every of the tools the way I have just tried them. You can do exactly what I have just done, or you can even do more than what I have just done, just for you to master the use of each and every of the tools I have just making use of. So thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you in my next video. If you have any question at all, please kindly drop them in the comment section. Thank you.